Okay. Hi, everyone, wherever you are. I think we'll hang out for just a couple minutes, make sure everyone is able to jump on and access everything. And I know I can't see everyone, but how are you doing? I hope your day is great. It is a beautiful, warm day over here in the New Jersey area. Probably going to take a walk after this. So, do. Oh, I love listening to music. I actually have my headphones here in case. Okay, and I love getting questions even as I'm presenting. So if something pops up in your head, just be sure to pop it in the chat. Oh, hi, Tim from Knoxville, Iowa. Oh, yeah, Iowa. What? Love it. I see there's a Simon, there's a Tim, Livingston, Nicole. I've got a couple questions that came in as well. So Cliff from Ithaca, hey, how are you? Good to meet you. Aw, Addison from Barbados, what? I was just there for a wedding. Nice to meet you. All right. Okay, it's about 2:01. So I'm going to get started here. Hi, my name is Petronella of Petronella Photography. I am a wedding and family photographer based out of the New Jersey, New York area. And I'm so excited to be here. I can't see you, but I feel you wherever you are. I'm going to present on multicultural weddings, something that I'm very passionate about. So I'm going to share my screen here. And we're going to dive into it. As we go through, feel free to pop in, ask a question. Hopefully, I'll be able to see the comments that come in. All right, so today I'm going to be talking about seeing your subjects, capturing the beauty of multicultural weddings. This is something that I love. I'm so passionate about. It's what my whole business is built around, and I'm excited to share tips and advice from that. I want to first of all thank Adorama and Fujifilm. I'm a Fujifilm creator. I love the community, really great family, and I'm so excited that they're supporting me and giving you this information. So, yay. Okay. All right. So even though we're not in the same room, I want to ask this question. What image comes to mind when you think of multicultural weddings? I feel like I'm going to give you a couple seconds to really sit and think about this. Okay. And I bring it up because I want to ground everyone on what my definition of multicultural weddings is, but it's also because when I talk to other people and I say, hey, I specialize in multicultural weddings, some people are like, oh, you do Indian weddings. Some people are like, oh, you do Black people weddings. And so it's fascinating to me to hear where people are, what multicultural means to them. And even though I can't hear your responses, I just wanted you to think, oh, maybe we had a comment coming. Diversity, Anna Rodriguez. Thank you. Okay, so the other questions that I get asked often are, what is culture? What does that mean? And don't we all have culture? And what does that mean? Another question I get is, how do you know if a couple is multicultural? And what are the signals? And how do you navigate that? Give me a second. I'm trying to. The mouse has disappeared, so hold on. So now the meeting chat has popped up. So I am, hold on, let me just escape for a second. Ah, there we go. I'm going to put this off to the top. Okay. All right. How do you know if a couple is multicultural? So the quick answer to that is you don't. There's nothing that's like a dead giveaway, but you ask questions, you stay curious, you try to understand who they are. This is my definition of, I found this definition of multiculturalism and I love it because it really encompasses everything that I do and all the different kinds of couples that I meet with. Multiculturalism is the coexistence of diverse cultures, which include racial, religious, undo that, religious or cultural groups, and is manifested in customary behaviors, cultural assumptions, and values patterns of thinking and communicative styles. So yes, I work with all different kinds of couples, and some of them are interfaith, interracial, intercultural, and this is what multicultural means to me. So today I'm going to be sharing some tips that are going to better help serve your multicultural clients with confidence. I did see some questions come in that were general, how do you work with clients? And we have some time at the end, but I'll do my best to answer some of those as I go throughout my presentation. Okay, so this is my story. I was born in Uganda, which is a small country in East Africa, moved around in Africa, and then we moved to Birmingham, Alabama when I was 10 years old. And since then, I have lived in 11 cities worldwide, all over. Love it. It's just given me a really good perspective of other cultures, knowing how to navigate and sort of understand and really connect with other people. I always say that even though I have this experience, I'm always learning. I never think I know it all because there's always so much more to learn. So, yeah. So my why. So I became a photographer who specializes in supporting and celebrating multicultural families and couples because when I came from Uganda to Birmingham, Alabama, I quickly noticed that I had to make a decision between honoring my Ugandan culture and assimilating to American culture. And I chose to assimilate and completely abandon my Ugandan culture in order to fit in as a teenager. This happened for a long, long time before some friends sort of were like, hey, we didn't realize your last name is Lugemwa. What's going on there? We thought you were just American. And I started going through this process of figuring out my identity, figuring out what does it mean? What are the environments I feel comfortable really expressing myself? And what I found out when I started my photography business is there were a lot of other people and couples who really had the same challenge. And the wedding day is one of those days where all of who you are really comes up and shows up. And, you know, your friends, your work friends, your family, they're all coming together and all parts of you come together. And so I made the decision that because it's something that's so close and near and dear to my heart, that I really wanted to celebrate multicultural couples and families. So that's why I do what I do. And so Petronella Photography is my business. This is what I do. And these are some of the weddings that I and the team have shot. So all kinds of different weddings, different multicultural couples coming together to celebrate their love. So someone asked earlier, what is the number one piece of advice? And I'm going to connect it to this quote by Oprah, which is, I've done over 35,000 interviews in my career. And the common denominator that I found in every single interview is that we want to be validated. We want to be understood. And I would say my piece of advice is for multicultural couples, they are usually going up against so much, whether it's with their family, society, between each other, with the different cultures. And so if you're able to really see them, and I'll demonstrate what that means, and really validate their experience, who they are, validated through what you photograph and how you photograph. This is such a powerful way of really connecting and just making them feel seen, literally with our camera, but also in the way we show up. So that's the number one piece of advice I would give for that comment. Here's some guiding principles that I think if you have this in your heart, you're going to show up at a wedding, at an event, and really be able to capture it in a way that really authentically and respectfully honors that couple. I would say have a heart for serving the client. So this is like, what can I give them? What can I do for them? What can I do to create an experience for them versus what can I get to build my portfolio, or what can I get to show people that this is who I am, or this is what I do, or it would be really cool to get this kind of a photo or something. Embrace the space outside of your comfort zone. I've had some people come up to me and say, hey, I was part of this wedding, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, people started gathering and dancing and I didn't know what to do. And I would say in that moment, I think if you're like, you know what, let's just dive in, let's figure this out. I think coming with that attitude is really going to serve you very well. Ask a lot of questions. And then something that is, I would say, really, really key as you're going through shooting a wedding is think about what story am I trying to tell myself about this couple? And I'll give myself as an example. I was shooting a multicultural wedding, and I think in mainstream media, I had seen the image of what this culture was supposed to represent. And oh my God, all the photographers have this image with the bride with the henna on her hands. I'm going to ask the couple to do this. And I was lucky that the bride pulled me aside and was so wonderful and sweet to say, hey, that is not who we are. I don't want to do that. But it was such a grounding moment for me to be like, wait a minute, there's a story in my head that I am projecting onto this couple, onto this wedding day that I'm coming with, and I'm not being present and really seeing it for what it is, as opposed to trying to tell the story that I think that they should have. Finally, I'd say be attentive and thoughtful about how each person self-identifies and their cultures. So I'm Ugandan, and something that I'm super, super proud of, Ugandan American. And so if I tell somebody that, it's so important that they really honor that, they pay attention to it, and that maybe the next time I see them, they're not saying, oh, are you Nigerian or Ghanaian, or oh, Petronella, it feels a little dismissive, but I would say really paying attention and really making effort to really understand that couple is the first steps to sort of getting yourself prepared. So now 10 tips for actually shooting a wedding. And I actually want to stop for a second. No questions. Okay. So this is before the shoot. And I would say the most important work that you're going to do before a wedding is before you actually show up with a camera, because this can really set you up. I would say with multicultural couples, be brave, ask a lot of questions with a heart for better understanding how you can better serve them, cultivate a network of people you can lean on. And I would say, don't go into the wedding with like, I don't know what that meant. I don't know what's going on. Just ask the question, figure out how to ask it. And I'm going to show you how to do that really quickly. I can't go through everything. I would say one question, and of course, based on who you are, you can tweak this, but you can say, hey, when it comes to your cultural heritage, how do you self-identify yourself? What does that look like? And that for most multicultural couples, culture exists on a spectrum. So you have some people who are super, super traditional to non-traditional, and you have people somewhere in between who maybe take a little piece of this and that. So your goal in asking this question is to really understand where in the spectrum this person is, because you might look at them or see them, or they might say, hey, I am of this culture, but you find out they don't really, it's just something that they have as a title, and it's not something that they really identify. And so that means that culture will not play a part in their wedding at all. How many events or days will be part of your ceremony, and what do they mean to you? This is really key because for some cultures, some of the events or days are specifically, let's say, for the parents or aunties and cousins, and maybe the couple is just there as a reason for being. And then there are other events that mean a lot to the couple, but maybe not to everyone else. So, sort of understanding what's going on, when is it going on, what really matters to who and when is going to help you understand how to better navigate the wedding. Here are some other questions. Any other questions there? Who are the most important people and why? So who's at your wedding? Who are they? What do they mean to you? I've found that in some cultural weddings that the officiant is actually like the person that everyone is like, this is the person. Or in my culture, when we have a traditional wedding called a kwanjala, the senga, which is the auntie, has a very significant role. So knowing that, knowing that, oh my gosh, we should be photographing this person and we should be paying attention to what this person is doing because they're leading or guiding the entire ceremony is going to help you understand who and what to photograph. What will they be wearing? What will the couple be wearing? What will their parents, their guests, all the different key important people, what are they wearing? Some weddings are so awesome in that you can very clearly show up and be like, okay, that is this side, this is partner one's guests, and this is the family, and these are the bridal party, and all the different people involved. It's really, really clear and helpful to know. Finally, what are the most important elements of the wedding to you and your family? And just sit back and listen. Yeah. The other thing is to ask the couple what might be appropriate vendor attire. As someone who has shown up at a wedding only to find out that the attire and colors I'm wearing were symbol of death and mourning and sadness, and to have the family, I think it was at the rehearsal dinner the night before, say, hey, can you wear something that's, more along this line as opposed to what I had worn on the first day is really important. So just asking that question so you don't show up in something that might offend people. Oh, the other thing I did want to say is, you're going to make mistakes. I think at some point, you're not going to know every single thing, especially if you're new to the culture. And I would say, if you have a heart for understanding and a heart for really serving your clients, a lot of people are going to have grace for you. So I would not recommend coming into a multicultural wedding having a lot of fear or nervousness because, yeah, if you're there to really serve and do your best, people are going to love you. People are going to embrace you. People are going to help you figure out what to do and not to do. So, yeah. Do this. Ask the couple or friend if they're okay sharing PDA photos or even kissing in front of friends or family. Certain cultures, most couples are not comfortable kissing in front of their friends and family. And so when I come across a couple who might have that culture, I usually pull them off to the side and I'm like, hey, are you comfortable kissing? Is this okay? And we kind of go from there. So do this. Research the standard of beauty for that culture versus use the same mainstream media poses for all couples. This is something I've discovered in a couple of different countries that I've gone to and shot, is that the pose, even the attire, I think a certain attire, if you take it and maybe want to create a really cool photo, it might actually be very offensive to take that, dismantle the attire and try something new. So really understanding that there's usually a stylist, aunties on board who can really help you figure out what makes sense. But something that I do is I'll look through magazines or I'll sort of see what's in vogue if I'm going to a particular country and trying to understand what beauty looks like for that culture. Yeah. Okay, so the other thing that I do once I've gathered all this information about my client, I put together a client summary, which has their cultures, what's important, any traditions that are coming up, do's or don'ts, key family member names, what's happening, must not miss. And this is really a discussion that I have with the team who's coming on board with me to shoot through the wedding to make sure that we're all aligned, but also because it's incredibly important for me to be very respectful of each person's culture and not to have a team member walk in and maybe do or say something that might make the couple or their friends and family feel uncomfortable. So I am happy to share that. I'm actually going to have a downloadable at the end that you can check out. So key takeaways: ask lots of questions, embrace the comfort zone, embrace the space outside of your comfort zone, have a heart for serving your clients, and then ask yourself, who am I taking this photo for? Is it for the couple, their family? Is it for yourself? Is it for pride? Ask yourself these questions and you should be able to successfully navigate I feel like that slide is out of purpose. So, okay. I'm like, that should have come at the end. During the shoot, I would say these are some things you should do. I would say dive in, show that you're open to trying something new. For a lot of multicultural couples, I would say in mainstream media, their love might be taboo. And so if you're standing back, if you're not wanting to get involved or engaged, it sort of reinforces what they already experience maybe on a daily basis. But jumping in, just showing that you're open to trying different kinds of foods, really going in, and I'll show you how to do that, is going to go a long way in terms of building rapport and connection with your clients. And I would say, don't do this. And this comes from having different teammates on my team come on board. And I've noticed some of them are like on the wall, like, oh my gosh, what is going on? I don't know what to do. And I'm like, you got to jump on in and, like, this is a celebration, really honor it. And you can do that by listening to music from different cultures, trying new foods, reading articles, flipping through magazines, watching popular cultural movies, really to show that you're very immersed in that culture and that you're open and willing to try new things. And travel is a powerful way to really learn new things. And I have my Instagram, which is now We Are Multicultural, where I talk with different multicultural couples about their experience to better understand what they go through. That's there too. Okay, so this is so I'm going to take you through on the day of the wedding, what could be happening and where should you be and how to position yourself. For this one, like if I'm behind the room with a long lens, I may not get this shot. So I'm pretty sure I probably have a 35 millimeter equivalent lens or something here where I'm really diving into the action respectfully to really capture the key moment. And then here, just knowing, okay, these are parents, this is what's going to happen, standing behind and getting ready to get this shot as well is important. So understanding what's going on, and then positioning yourself in a way that you're really there to capture the moment right then and there. Yes, from different angles. So I believe this is probably me and a teammate getting the different angles, but again, we're pretty close in, we're diving in, we're not on the outskirts with a long lens camera, with a long lens, trying to get the action. We're really deep down in there. Okay, so use the mask system to figure out what to look for. I have been, and my team and other people have reached out to me and been like, oh, I was at a wedding, and then all of a sudden this happened and I didn't know what was going on and what to do. And so I came up with this acronym, MASK. Is just for me. Hopefully it helps you. But if you're trying to figure out, if you find yourself in that situation, you're trying to figure out what's going on, look for movement. What is going on? If all of a sudden you see a whole bunch of people running and gathering around, like, Go over there, figure it out, ask an auntie, try to figure out what's going on, pay attention to attire. Has the attire changed? Is it, has somebody changed attire? Like what, that's going to give you clues as to where you should be, what to look for. And then key symbols. If you've asked questions at the very beginning to understand what are some key symbols, look for those and pay attention to where they might be and what might be going on with them, because that's going to give you a clue as to what to photograph if you're in a situation where you didn't realize it's has some elements that you didn't know. And then finally, look for the key people. Where are they? What are they doing? And this is going to guide what to shoot. And again, the key people can be anyone beyond just the couple. It could be the officiant, the parents, the auntie, it could be all kinds. So that's the mask system, sort of help you. Okay. On the day of the wedding, talk to family members, vendors. I always say aunties. It's to figure out who and what's important. If you're in a situation where things are happening, you don't know how to navigate it, you can reach out to them and sort of be like, hey, can you help me identify where I should be, what's going on, what's important. They usually love helping out. No one usually leans on them. So it's a great opportunity to build relationships and connect. And I would say don't shy away from them. Yeah, let them be your friend and guide in the wedding. Don't know I have that there. Okay. Do this. Be flexible and open when it comes to timing and how things should flow. I have been in situations where maybe things need to happen at a certain timeline, but then a certain event happens. And I would say it's probably easy if you're like, this is how things should be, to be frustrated. But I would say be open to flowing and sort of, hey, okay, now we're shifting to do this or do that. That can happen sometimes. Yeah, so don't get frustrated if the flow of the wedding does not follow Western standards. All right, so now we're gonna take you through a wedding. This is the equipment I use on the wedding day. I have a GFX 100S and a Fujifilm X-T5. And these are some of the lenses that I have. They look like a lot, but I'm gonna take you through how I think about the wedding day and how I know what to use and when. So we have somebody in Barbados. This wedding took place in Barbados. Woo-woo. So we knew, oh, you can see me. We knew what was going to happen. There were a lot of different elements. It's a Bayesian, Grenadian, Mexican, Puerto Rican couple. And so they had a lot of different elements that they thoughtfully infused into their wedding. And so we sat down, the photography scene, we sat down and I was like, okay, this is what's going to be happening. This is what you should look for, just because it helps us understand how to position ourselves, what lens to have and where to be. So the guys are prostrating to the two mothers. It's a sign of honor. We knew this was going to happen. If we were maybe standing in the very back of the room and this happened, it would be really hard to get the shot. So you can see me over there on the left. And then this is the shot I'm getting to sort of show the mom's perspective of what's going on. And then in the running around. So the other thing is move, keep moving. Don't just stand in one place and shoot. So then moving to another direction to get a different angle. And then to show the groom at the feet of the two moms showing what he's doing. So this fully tells the story. And we knew this was super, super important to the couple. So that's an example. So I think, yeah, probably a 35 in this. Yeah, I probably stayed with a 35, but I would say if I didn't know this was going on and maybe I had an 85 or something else that's further along, it would be really hard to tell this story well. Yeah, any questions? And then this is a Sudanese American wedding we shot last year. This was one of those that I think I had a couple people who were new on the team and I was like, you gotta dive in, you gotta just go in and just Because if you stay outside with all the aunties surrounding the couple, you're not going to get anything, or we're not going to be able to capture the key moments of their traditional wedding. So happy to say that everyone really dove in, did a good job, but it's another example of don't hang out on the walls, just come forward and really get the key moments that matter to the couple and their family. Yep, here's another one. Yeah, hand washing ceremony again, the wedding in Barbados. Being able to walk around to the back and really dive in and get the shot, which was so crucial to the couple. And then the tasting of the elements. This is another thing we knew was really important to the couple, but something that if you're far off, you would never ever see this, because the couple literally has their backs to the audience, and they're going to taste the different elements to signify the journey of marriage and being together. So just, again, moving around, looking for those opportunities to really capture all the different elements of the wedding. Just being ready for that sand ceremony. The other last thing that's important as you're shooting is, and this matters so much to multicultural couples, is really paying attention to their skin tone and what's happening in the background. So I consider myself chocolate brown, but like if I'm in a very woody environment, maybe, and there's no lighting or something, it just is not flattering to have me behind a wood background, if that makes sense, because I just would blend in. So just being really cognizant of that, of paying attention, also makes people feel that you really care. It's thoughtful. It shows that you're going beyond just the standard Western approach. So after the shoot, let's see. So after the shoot, there's still ways that you can really cater to your clients and really make them feel heard. And this is edit the photos in a way that show an appreciation for that person's skin tone, heavy emphasis on that, and their culture. This is so important. I would say there are a lot of amazing presets out there. If you need to tweak them to make people look their best, this is very much valued and something that you should do. So yeah, this is a whole other topic and a whole other presentation. So I'm not going to go way in depth in it, but it's just something to mention, to keep in mind as you're working with your clients. Yeah, so use presets that bring your subjects' skin tones and wedding colors to life. Oh, I forgot to say that. So some multicultural weddings have a lot of vibrant, amazing, juicy colors, and they mean something to the couple and to their family. And so muting or like pulling away those colors is not going to help them celebrate who they are as much. So if you need to bump up the saturation, whatever it is to really show, but I would say anything that diminishes that is going to make them possibly not feel so great. So yeah. And these are key takeaways: ask lots of questions, have a heart for serving your clients. Cannot emphasize that enough. Embrace the space outside your comfort zone. Every time you take a shot, ask yourself, who am I taking this photo for? Is it for me, for pride, yeah, and you'll be good. I am going to put together a bunch of resources for you. If you head over to bypetronella.com/adorama, log in, we're going to put some resources together for you so that you're prepared. And then I think there were some questions in the chat as well that I wanted to answer. So with that, any questions, thoughts? Okay. So one question we get from Simon, he says, oh, what is one key or piece of advice you can give about this topic of multicultural weddings? And I would say, again, come with an open heart and heart to serve, to really understand your clients, to really pay attention to the nuances of their culture and who they are. That's going to go a long way, because it's already going to show up in how you shoot and what you shoot. Nicole asks, when you were starting out, what was the best way to catch the attention of event planners? I don't know if Nicole is on, but I would say Depends on, do you mean multicultural event planners or event planners in general? I would say one piece of advice, I actually asked some when I first started to ask some planners, I was like, what is the most valuable? And the consensus that I heard is if you serve my client well, if you're there for them, if you're truly have a heart for serving them, that's going to make me look good for having you or working with you. And so that's going to serve everyone well. That's one advice. I know there's a lot of different other techniques and other things, but reach out to me after this. We can have a more in-depth conversation and really tailor it to what you're asking. Question from Livingston. When you get contacted by clients, how do you make the client buy what I'm selling? This is a sales question, I think. Okay, so I would say the number one thing, if people feel like you are trying to get them to do something, I feel like there's going to be a lot of resistance. So I would say number one is just ask a lot of questions, listen to their answers, listen to what challenges, fears, hopes they're trying to achieve, and figure out how you can provide a solution that can meet those needs. Yeah, and reach out to me. I have a lot more resources on this. Yeah, this is Livingston. Yeah, please reach out. But in general, it's pretty much paying attention to what people need, how to best serve them, and then offering up a solution that will tailor to what they need. And that's how you get a win-win for everyone. Question from Anna. What advice would you give to multicultural couples when seeking out their photographers for their wedding? Oh, great question. I honestly would say trust your gut. I think when you meet someone, and I think human beings have a really good radar intuition for, okay, this person is showing a lot of care and love and attention to me. This is someone who's going to show up at my wedding and really, really take care to understand all the nuances of it. I would say, yeah, also look at portfolio if that helps sort of understand, hey, what similar work have they done, which might be able to match this, if skin tone matters to you, or if being able to capture a specific moment, or being able to really navigate all the different events of a wedding day. I think if you know that's important to you, making sure that you ask those questions and you listen to the responses, and then you trust your heart and gut. Shadi. We're all awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening. Yeah. So any other questions, thoughts? I'm going to put together a bunch of resources on by Petronella. Yeah, bypetronella.com/Adorama. Please sign up there. I also love really helping people figure out how to navigate a wedding. Any questions you have, please reach out to me. I think I lightly mentioned this, but it's so important to build a network of multicultural vendors, people who are very, very familiar with the culture that you're doing, and just being able to go to them and ask the so-called dumb questions and to really make sure that you're well prepared. So the other piece of advice that somebody said is just build your multicultural network so that you're ready to really serve your clients. So yeah. Anything else? Any other questions, thoughts? Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Again, if you have any other questions, thoughts, anything, please reach out to me. I'm happy to chat with you.